Let's talk all the problems that we've been through. Let's talk how the money for the rental. Let's talk about the problems that we had. Good with the bad, happy and sad. I'm just thankful I got some people that feel the way I do. And if you don't, here's what we can do. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Taylor Smith, and you're watching Let's Talk. And today we have a spicy, banging topic for y'all, and it's about sexism and double standard. But before we get into the topic, I want to introduce our lovely guest for today.
Hello, my name is Skylar Salas.
I'm Gino.
I'm Fran.
I'm Keith.
And let's talk. So the first question I got for y'all: what do y'all think sexism mean to you? Like, what is sexism to y'all?
Sexism is like a bias, and it's usually against women. So if you're being sexist or demonstrating sexism, it's usually has, applied towards women or a woman.
Okay.
I guess sexism is like thinking that one gender is less than or not equal to another gender, and I think it affects our generation because it's like we're still like trying to get over those stereotypes from previous generations that have like left it upon us to kind of like deal with the problem.
Yeah, it's typically toward women, but it's for both sexes. It's the prejudice and unjust of both sex, but it's typically for women.
So why do you think it's just for females? Cause I know you said mostly females.
Yeah, I said typically females because females had to go through a lot of unjust and bias throughout the years, so they face the most backlash from it.
Sexism to me is like basically when like men or women are treated different based on like what's going on, like jobs or sports, stuff like that.
Okay, Skylar.
On the first question.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's basically I don't think it could be just for one gender. I could think it could be for both. Yes, it's more prominent in a female perspective, but it could go both ways.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely believe that even if you look at the workforce, now women are taking a big part of the American workforce, and I'm glad to see that. But for a long time, they went through a lot of suffrage, and they weren't allowed to do some of the things that men were for a long time.
Okay, so what do y'all think double standard is? And what do it mean to y'all?
When I think of double standard, it kind of goes hand in hand with sexism, as being something that's usually, I guess, applied towards women because it's like usually men can do something, but women can't, or it's an issue if women do. So
it's when people think that one group of the sex is held higher and they don't get that same kind of the same type of treatment. So like the double standard when it comes to cheating, everyone expects the man to cheat, but once a woman does it, it's seen, oh my gosh, she cheated, oh my gosh, she did this, did she even love the relationship? But they don't ask the men the same questions. They never ask him the same questions. He was supposed to cheat. Double standards. Women should be the ones staying at home. Men don't have to stay at home. Women should keep the kids. All of that is what feeds into the double standard.
Okay, but so how do it relate to generation now today? So like, how do y'all think double standard relates to our generation now?
I think it's just like people thinking that men could do one job but women can't do the same job. So they both have the same qualifications, same education, same everything, but they automatically go with a male because they feel like they can do the job better than a female.
Okay. So like jobs will affect our generation. I feel like media will affect it too. Like a lot of people feel like the media really gets people. Social media, people feel like males can do certain things that female can't. So that's like my view on it.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
In this generation, I would say that I'm gonna use relationship as an example.
Mhm.
All right, so from female's perspective, I will honestly say has outweighed the male perspective for that situation. Man's though females, they require more, but in this generation, they don't want to give back that same energy. I would
Right.
say, so
And
they.
In
what
regards
about the
to
male?
what though?
Huh?
In regards to what? What do you like? What are you speaking of? Double standard?
Yeah, I was
Double
like-
standards, yeah.
Okay.
But okay, so what's the male part?
The male part.
Yeah, because you only expect
It goes, yeah, far as males, it goes hand in hand, but that was already the expectance, you feel me? Like a man already, have double standards, but I would say it's more prominent in females today because they feel as though they have to prove themselves and, prove that they can do without a man, so.
Okay. Does sexism play a role in the custody battles with divorce court?
Oh, definitely.
How would you say that?
Definitely.
Me myself, I did grow up in a separated household. My parents split up when I was about 2 or 3, and I could just see how the legal process works out. There are some things that benefit women. There are some things that benefit men. There's a lot of fathers who don't pay child support or don't do anything of that sort, and there's a lot that do as well. But a lot of times we want to make sure that there's fair legal custody for the child, make sure that they're in the best situation, not just with a certain sex, whether it's male or female.
Definitely. I believe that the court system in America is a lot more willing to side with women over men. A lot more times, women's claims of domestic violence or any other thing that may break up a marriage or break up a home, they will usually side with the woman. And they also believe that the mother is always the best place for the child to be. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's true or not. I think they need to look more into the facts versus this idea that the mother is always the best option.
Far as the typical, outcome of the process of a female, having custody of the kids, that was not my case. My parents also split up and divorced, but my father took on the role as the full parent, and he did a great job at it. So I don't really relate to where people say their mother, only took care of.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had that. I'm the only child. I'm a single parent. My mom raised me, but they didn't get married, so it's not really a big thing. Yeah, right. She just got, put them on child support. That was that. So
Amen.
I don't really have any, like, I don't really know about divorce court or whatever, and with your example.
Right.
But I just feel like more males have the role of paying child support than the females. I mean, that's just what I know. Like, I just feel like more males have the role of paying child support than the opposite way. And it could be wrong, but again, that's what the topic's about. What about you, Skylar?
I think the mom has more wins custody battles only because that's the mother, that's the person who birthed them and everything like that. So with me, it's the same thing. My parents are divorced, and my mom took me on. There was no custody battle at all. It was already said you're going to take it, because at the time, my dad wasn't prepared to take on a child by himself,
Right.
and my mom was. So it wasn't even a question on who was going to take me.
Right.
But my mom was mentally, financially, and emotionally ready to take me on full time without my father. My father was not. So, yeah, I really feel like women, when they have children, they automatically switch into mother mode. Fathers, it might take a little bit while. I might be wrong, I might be right, but in my case, that's what happened.
Okay.
Does sexism play a role in custody battles and divorce court?
Yes, definitely. I feel like divorce courts and custody battles are more likely to side with the mother figure rather than the father figure, just because of the maternal, is that the right one?
Mm-hmm.
The maternal role.
Speaking on that, do you feel like more women have the opportunity to provide more for their family than men? Because if more females is taking on the role of taking care of the child and the family, then do you think that, women are more sufficient and, up standard to, provide for the family or the males?
I mean, it depends. I mean, I feel like nowadays people expect the woman, her role is to take care of the family, take care of the kids, sit home and cook, clean, do whatever, and the man's supposed to go out and bring home the money and everything like that. But now it's kind of like switching off a little bit.
And that's another thing why I go back into the generation, because again, people think that males are supposed to be equal. I mean, it can be if you live in that household, but me growing up, I just feel like you gotta get it how you get it. So can't really just sit around and wait. So that's why I asked, like, what in this generation, what is the male role? Because a lot of people feel like people don't provide. So like, how do you see the male role in this generation? Like, because a lot of males don't provide. So
I don't know if the males in this generation know what their role is.
Ooh.
And I feel the same way about females.
Ooh.
Elaborate on that though.
Elaborate. Just taking my personal own situation with my dad, like it was no like custody battle, as she said. Like my mom, she wasn't up for it, I would say. Like when she divorced him, she divorced her kids.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
And that's what I was gonna say, touching on what Skylar said, kind of I guess in the opposite. You know, there's women who have kids, and you might switch into mother mode, but you know what I'm saying? It's 9 times out of 10 when you find out that you're pregnant, it's usually not planned. So, you know, some of them aren't as, they're just not ready either. Just like there are males who just aren't ready, but somebody gotta, step up and
Okay, what y'all feel that your opinion on wage gaps?
Oof. I think it changed exponentially over the years, very much so.
Change how?
At first, females it didn't compare at all. Like, it was a very big gap.
Right.
Now, females are taking the role of very, extreme positions in the world all over.
Well, I believe that it should be more equal as far as women getting the same amount of pay as men, because nowadays women are doing the degree of difficulty in jobs, they picking up some of the harder jobs just like men. So I still don't understand why, because I can attest to that, because my mom get paid less than my dad, so I don't understand why it's still a wage gap. But due to women actually stepping up and doing harder jobs, like because they want to, I feel like they should get paid the same amount as men. It shouldn't be no difference in pay because of sex.
Yeah. I think back then, women couldn't do most stuff, so of course, laws change and females make more than males now.
Definitely.
But I feel like that's just all on people opinions, because that don't matter. If y'all together or whatever, it shouldn't matter if the female make more than you or the male make more than you. Y'all still equal to me. But, some people get big-headed and they be like, showing off like, look, I provide or I do this. So that's just my opinion. What you think?
I think it's been on and off, because like I've taken women's studies class, so I've done the research about when early civilization, like I'm talking like BC 80 era, women were the providers, one who worked, one who kept everything together. The men was literally just like, I don't know how to say it, but the muscle, basically. Women did everything else, took care of animals, children, cooked, clean, worked, protectors, everything. Men were just the heavy loaders. So, and then we evolved to having just men putting on that role and women taking a back seat. And then that went on for a long time. And then now we're like, okay, women are stepping up a little bit more. We have more women in CEO positions, more higher up positions, and men are kind of just like, they're not totally in the back seat, but they taking it back, and then women are coming up for it. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, it was a lot, but I understand what you were saying. I really do.
My opinion on the wage gap is that I believe there is one, but I feel like it shouldn't be there, because I feel like even though as women we try to work sometimes we gotta work twice as hard and double the work that men do just to try to get to where they at, and we still can't make it to where they at. I feel they still get paid more even when we do most of the work. Sometimes when we try to like get on their level.
Keith, do you think sexism play a role in religion?
In religion.
And like, would you see how the two is?
Oh, you know, I consider myself a Christian,
Okay.
so I guess I could go by my own experience. I don't really look at anybody different, whether it's a male or female. I look at everybody should carry themselves in the best way, whether you're religious or not. You know, there's certain ethics that come with living in this world. There's a lot of evil in this world. There's a lot of good. You know, you just got to find that happy medium of how to be yourself, but still follow whatever ethics you have for yourself.
Okay. You think it's
So your question was, do you, or do I think that sexism plays a role in religion?
Mm-hmm.
I think religion plays a role in sexism because most religions are kind of like, or especially Christianity, for example, it's like women are supposed to kind of play your role. And that was like whatever that is. And now I feel like women are kind of defining their own role, and it's not really liked because it's, I would say more, I'm not going to say it's more dominant than what the male role is, but you know.
That's just the same as, in my opinion, and the same is for Muslim. I feel like the men is more dominant than the females. It's like the females have to dress a certain way and they got to cover up, or
they're in the background. You're just supposed to, you know,
like
sit there and look pretty.
Most definitely religion does play a part, and it plays a very toxic part, because back in the day the women really weren't allowed to do much. Like, think of Virgin Mary. What did she do? She was just pregnant with Jesus, and that's the main thing that people uphold her for. They don't think about anything else she has done before then or before that. Like, she was just Joseph's wife. And in religion, everyone thinks the women should do this, women should do that. They don't even think women should be pastors. They just think women should just sit there and
Look pretty.
Exactly, just look pretty, and they're just sitting there, and that they shouldn't be allowed to go out and have work. They should stay at home with the kids, just like how it was in the 60s. Well, for the 60s. Women, they don't get the same rights, especially during religion.
it's just all cut off. Like, you feel the same way? Because I know this is a big thing for you too.
Well, I understand most parts of y'all saying, you feel me? But that's a part of the religion, so, you know, it goes back to times before we know. So everything is already, you know, is a divine plan. So it's more so of respecting, you know, the movement of, you know, the religions, because you can choose whatever religion you plan on having.
Right.
But it's up to you if you really want to fully, you know, uphold everything that, you know, all the laws of that religion. Because females can be Muslim, but they don't have to wear their hijab. They don't have to wear the cover up or nothing like that, but they choose to because of the respect thing. So I think that also plays a big part in religion, along with sexism. So you have to kind of be, you know, open-minded about it.
Okay. Do y'all think that women and men are treated equally?
No, I don't really think so. I think women get a lot more leeway when it comes to like society, because me being a black male, I can't go out in the dark or at nighttime without maybe a police stopping me or something like that. When the woman, you might get a pass just because you're a woman, or say it's a lot harder for males to do some things than women, because they feel like some things are gay or stuff like that. But when women do certain things, they can get away with it without it being a problem.
And why not?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Why y'all say not?
Well, if you just look at the whole hot girl summer thing, if it was men that did that, I don't think it would have had the same backing. I don't think it would have had the same social setting. You know, it's a lot of things.
But men do that. That's y'all whole, like, everything all the time. So it's like women decide they're going to have a movement and y'all want to shut it down. Now y'all got shade. Now
I didn't. I support it.
Well, I'm just saying, like, in general, most men, you know, it was some type of backlash about it. Oh, she want to be a hot girl, she this, she that. Like, it's a movement for women to feel empowered. It don't necessarily mean that you're, you know, out being loose or promiscuous or whatever. That's kind of how men took it and, you know, interpreted it. So,
and I feel like they did the same thing with Hot Boy. Hot Boy something.
I necessarily wouldn't say we interpreted, because we've seen some crazy things, you know, hashtag hot
but
girl.
Overall, that's what y'all did.
Overall,
as a male dominate group, y'all took it and like, oh, you know, she call herself a hot girl, or she singing hot girl summer or whatever, and that means she out here partying and stuff like that. When all reality, the people that singing this are in relationships, so obviously it's not about being a promiscuous person or it's being nasty or out here partying all the time. It's just you enjoying yourself, like she said, you know.
I'm only telling
But
you
y'all had the
what we
same
have
thing.
seen. That's all.
Okay.
And how the whole perspective of the hot girl summer thing being a negative and degrading thing is because of what was portrayed of that name.
And I do understand that.
And it was wild. You feel me? So that's what that mentality came from. Then just, oh, hot girl summer. Oh, they're wild.
Okay.
They're trifling.
I do have a question. Since, you know, Skylar is engaged or whatever, do you feel that you can call yourself a hot girl?
I could be a hot girl and be in a relationship as well.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It doesn't mean I'm out here wilding. It means I'm grinding, doing what I have to do with my significant other.
Okay.
That's all that means.
To me, real hot girl stuff.
Yeah,
So, Keith, do you feel like it's the same?
No. Being a man comes with certain things, and you know, we embrace the challenge. I don't think there's any man that wants to be or have the same expectations as women. You know, we're very different emotionally, mentally. You know, it's good to carry yourself in a certain way, but I love to see the camaraderie among women. But you know, I think there's a lot of things that hold men back, and there's a lot of double standards for women as well. You know, I just love to see everybody be able to move past double standards and look at everybody as one, and not just a woman or a man.
And in different aspects too. There are some aspects where men aren't treated equally, and some aspects where women are treated equally. Because you know, men are treated unequally in the law, and women are treated unequally in society. And you know, there's some instances where they could be treated unequally in those circumstances, vice versa. Like a woman can be mistreated in the law, and a man can be mistreated in society, which we see a lot of today.
Hey now, I agree with that.
Do you feel like the masculinity in America is twisted amongst males?
Definitely.
Wow.
Because there are a lot of different things that I feel like men kind of let society and media define what it means to be a male or not be a male.
Right.
If you do this, you less than a male, or if you do that, you know, stuff like that. So,
why you say no?
I think men as a whole, even if you look at fashion, men are they're really embracing themselves, not afraid to be themselves, whatever it is. Jaden Smith, Pharrell, Wale. If you look at everybody's very unique. I don't think there's anything twisted about it. I think everybody's just trying to find themselves, because there's no answer about how to be a man. And everybody's kind of.
But you also just named celebrities, so.
Well, just
I
examples.
feel like it's easy
figures.
for a celebrity to find themselves because they know ain't nobody gonna judge them. But as in, probably a homosexual person or something, it's probably harder because nobody wants to come out and say that. So I feel like as a celebrity, yeah, it's easy for you, but as a regular dude just walking on the street or on campus, I think it's very hard unless you got a lump sum amount of confidence.
Yeah.
Yes, because I feel like sometimes as men, they feel like they have to be strong, so they're not allowed to cry or go to certain people. Like, I know I have friends who are males, and they're like, and because there was like a post on Instagram or something stating like men feel like they can't really go talk their problems out because they have to be strong. So, and when I asked my guy friends about that, they said, yeah, it's true, because when they try to go to other people to try to either talk out their problems or vent or just have a shoulder to cry on, they get ridiculed for it, and they get like talked down upon because they're supposed to be seen as strong and stuff like that. So I feel like, you know, we shouldn't like treat them that way, because I feel like everybody should have the chance to vent. If they have a problem, they should be able to speak it out without being judged, because you don't know what they're going through. They could be going through something like really bad and really terrible, and like they have to like get it out. So
Kind of feel different. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say celebrities do get backlash. Like, for example, we'll take like Young Thug.
Okay, that's a good one.
I mean, he's obvious. Well, he's a straight male. he has kids. But you know, he wears things that society would say is like, you know, meant for women, like dresses
Right.
or, you know, things of that nature. But, you know, I guess he doesn't let that define his masculinity.
What you about to say?
I kind of feel differently about what you said about celebrities not being judged.
I didn't say judge.
Uh,
I said is celebrities are more. It's more easy for a celebrity to know or find who they are to come out than a regular person that's just not a celebrity or not famous or don't have money or don't do this and that.
Yeah, I just disagree with it because everybody sees them. Everybody don't see us. The school's gonna see us, of course, but everybody sees them, like, and they have a very, very, very big influence around the whole world. So if anybody's getting judged or, you know, anybody have anything biased toward what they're doing, they're gonna say it, and they have no filter on it. So, and it's a lot of things that we don't know about celebrities that they go through. And it's hard because, like you said, they're celebrity. We don't know them personally. We just know what we
see.
Right. So we don't know exactly how they're feeling about certain things. But, yeah, they actually do get a lot of backlash on a lot of things they do. And
well,
they
that's
just...
what they signed up for, so, I mean...
right.
You get yourself into something and you think it's one thing and it's not. So, do you think women are negatively imaged into society? Like their image is negative in society? I feel like it depends on the person.
Not off gate. I think it depends on the things they've done, or it just depends. Like Kim Kardashian, for example, her start to how we know her is one thing. You'll make an image or a perception based off that, and then now, you know, she wants to be a lawyer. She's doing things that are, you know, helpful to society, or what she wants to be helpful towards society. So,
glad you bring that up. So do you feel that, because a lot of people feel like females can do, you know, promiscuous things, but then when a male does it, it's cool, and it's okay. So, do you feel like that's like double standard, or that can like ruin somebody's image?
Well, to play devil's advocate, I feel like there's a lot of times an expectation of men to be like that. I think sometimes if a man is a little more laid back, even first night, he doesn't try to have sex with a girl. A lot of women are thrown off by that. Yeah. So it could go both ways. You just got to look at each individual. It could be different for everybody. Same thing with women. Some a little bit more promiscuous, some are a little bit more laid back.
Double standard is saying one thing and meaning another. Like, if let's say like double standard with boys and girls, if a boy brought home 2 girlfriends, dad would be like, hell yeah, that's my boy. If a daughter brought home 2 boyfriends, you pumping that shotgun, because I do the same. It's a messed up double standard, but it makes sense if you think about it.
Would you feel like more people will respect you for, you know, being a homebody, or, you know, just a conservative woman and not like out here partying and stuff like that? Or will people respect you more for being yourself, partying, and still getting your work done, like still doing you?
I would say it depends on the person in particular, because I respect the person who's that person every day, all day. If you're being you, no matter what that is, I respect you. I may not agree with it, but I'm gonna always respect you, because at the end of the day, you're not afraid to be who you want to be.
Okay. Yeah, I just feel like more males are respected for doing dirty things, and it's like when a female does it, it's more judgmental. People judge her, and then when she try to straighten up or think something different, or try to, you know, like Kim Kardashian, she tried to straighten up and stuff like that. Also, Kanye West did his stuff, and now he's trying to move on a better wave, and people still not rocking with it.
I don't think that's a good example. I don't think Kanye West is it.
But Kanye West still did similar stuff that Kim did, but it's not as promiscuous. You get what I'm saying? It's with the more political side of things. And people is not rocking with him no more. Because
he technically, you know, went against his whole race.
He needs, like, he needs to seek help.
He turned his back on his whole race in a way.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if another person, like if Kim was to do that, you think people would care?
She basically did. I feel like, as far as turning, you talking
down like him. She is not down like people really is not rocking with Kanye West no more.
Yeah.
And it's again like
in her defense, she technically did just get a lady off of out of prison. You feel me? That was there for over 10 years.
Right.
She was black.
Yeah.
So people looking at Kanye West like, what are you doing for your people when your wife just got a person wrongfully accused out of jail, out of prison?
I feel like it's based on what you do. Like Kim Kardashian's doing stuff better for a community that she doesn't exactly belong to. Kanye West, he belongs to the black community, and you just did some dirty stuff. So, what are you doing to our community?
He's doing the gospel thing now.
What is that doing?
Money.
What is that
doing?
doing?
Business. That's a business. The church. That's
you're not helping our numbers in prison or anything like that.
Really, I feel like he is trying to bring people closer to Jesus.
No, he needs to be closer to Jesus. It's no way. It's no way that's the thought process.
He's kind of towing a line. It's like a line between, I don't want to say doing God's work, but trying to do God's work, but then also going against it. If you look at some celebrities, when they hand them money out in public or doing good deeds, they record it. In the Bible, it says you're not supposed to do it in public.
Yeah, you want to be seen doing those good acts.
Right.
Or service.
Okay.
Personally, I think he did that for, to try to, sneak back in there, you feel me? Like,
right, to get himself together.
If you look at the people that's at those services, there's not really the black community. It's usually black people who are singing, but the people who attend, are usually top-notch white celebrities who think, oh, this is cool, like R&B, hip-hop, gospel, like that's trendy to them. Yeah. It's Kanye West.
So, again, thank you all for coming out. I appreciate you all for coming out. Again, I am your host, Taylor Smith, and you're watching Let's Talk. See you all next time.
Let's talk all the problems that we've been through. Let's talk how the money for the rent through. Let's talk about the problems that we had. Good with the bad, happy and sad. I'm just thankful I got some people that feel the way I do. And if you don't, here's what we can do. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.